Well, it's always a thrill to catch up with our next guest who has been having himself a season. And on top of that, boy, did he have himself a day against the Cardinals. You know, 5 tackles, a TFL, a quarterback hit, a sack, a forced fumble. But, that's all. Joining us once again here on GCR, he is our guy, Michael Pierce. Mike, it's Glenn. It's so great to catch up with you, brother. Thank you for taking the time. Congratulations on a massive day.
Thank you for having me, my man.
Dude, we've talked a couple times this season, and I remember hearing the joy in your voice, just like getting involved again, just like being back out there with the guys and getting the swing of things. For the season to have been going the way it's been going, for you personally, for this team, can you possibly put into words what this has meant to you?
It's really, really hard to, man. Obviously you can't say dream come true because we're still in the middle of the season, but everything that I feel like you work for, especially in the off season, in those, dark days of recovery, going through rehab and all that stuff, this is kind of what you envision, happening. So just to be able to be healthy, be able to be out here and contributing to this team's success is everything I could have hoped for
Did
last year.
did you know? Did like you have because you talked to us about all the training your wife's had you doing and doing yoga and stuff like that. Did you know coming into the year? Did you find yourself saying, if everything goes right, this is going to be a massive year for me? Did you have that feeling coming in?
Yeah, I felt like I was on the right to doing that last year. I started off really strong with that Jets game last year and kind of played pretty well the next two. But nah, man, the last 3 years I felt like I've been where I've envisioned myself. Second, third year in the league. I was like, I think I can take it to a level where I can be one of the best in the league. So that's what you work for. That's what you envision. And that's what you plan for. God has other plans sometimes, but thankfully I've been healthy this year to be able to realize some of those things.
Does it make it, you what you've been through, does it make it so much more sweeter to like I'm only imagining a day like Sunday, right? Because the rest of us are all sitting back home watching and being like, oh my God, this is the greatest day ever. Can you take it all in, or are you just too locked in, too zeroed into the next thing to have a moment to be like, wow, this is what it's all about?
Um, you have your quick moments, when they ask you about it in interviews, but for me, man, it's just about trying to keep that momentum going. Like I said, these weeks don't stop. You get a bye week, ours hasn't come yet, but it's normally just about on to the next task and making sure you're available to make those similar type plays the next week and the next week and the next week. So you do enjoy that success. You enjoy watching the film, especially when you have those really, really good days, career type days. But like I said, man, the Seahawks are coming in, and
I get it.
sit there and rest on your laurels. So, no, man, we got a big game coming up, and you look forward to contributing in a big way again.
All right, one more thing from Arizona, and I hope it's okay if I share this because when I reached out to you, you were like, "Bro, man, my phone it was just I was so loaded with messages." When you have a game like that and you get the kind of love that you get, what is that feeling like when you have so many you can't even see through all of the messages that you've been getting from everybody?
It's kind of overwhelming, man. You get the media stuff, obviously, but just when to have your phone blown up by college teammates and all your family members, friends, and all that stuff. It's great to feel that kind of love, just to know your people are proud of you, but also like missing media things and other don't go as well. But no, man, it's great to be on a platform to be able to put a smile on a lot of people's faces that you know.
That's awesome, man. Michael Pierce is with us here on GCR. Mike, I have been wanting to talk to you. I know, and you came out to do Tyus's show with us, and unfortunately, after that, I know that the conflict in Israel and with Hamas kind of began after that point. And I don't know that everyone is aware of your connection with Israel and how important it is to you. So, if we could start there, could you explain to everybody why Israel has meant so much to you and why it's been so important to you as an adult?
Yeah, I'm a Christian. I don't try to hide my faith. But in 2018, myself, our team chaplain Johnny Shelton, one of our security guys from the Ravens who unfortunately passed, rest in peace. We all took a trip with Christians United for Israel. It was Israel's Collective is the name of the foundation that basically brings in a lot of different groups of people and tries to educate people who aren't born in Israel and anything privy to the conflict of the Middle East. So, you hear a few things in the media, just being in America, world news type things, but you never get to hear it like first person perspective from people who live in Palestine, who live in Israel, what the conflict is and how those different things go. So, for me, it was more so learning, obviously being in the land where I believe Jesus walked and had a lot of miracles go on and different things of that nature for me. So just being there was awesome. Seeing the different historical sites, just like other people would, journey to America and have different, things that they want to see. Just being over there, learning from people who live there, trying to understand the conflict between the two was really eye opening and changed my perspective on a lot of things.
Where has your heart been as you've watched these scenes and the terrorist attacks? And I know it's such a complicated conversation on some levels. On
Mhm.
other levels, it's not. It's just pure evil.
Right.
Where has your heart been as you've watched all of this unfold in the last few weeks?
Been really hard to look at, man. I try to keep my eyes off of that stuff as much as I can, but with social media, you obviously read about different things. Um, as far I'm not into the political aspect of anything. My heart just goes out to the people who are really, really having their lives torn apart, losing family members. Just like any war in any country, when you see those devastating pictures when we had the war in goodness,
Ukraine, yeah.
Ukraine, yeah, and you see hospitals being bombed and all those different things as well, like the Gaza Strip being bombed and people just being displaced, children hurt, and it tears your soul up. So I try to not take in as much as as much as you just want to keep looking at it. It's nothing that I can do per se, but just making myself aware of what's going on and kind of just praying for people because while we live in a peacetime here in America, different countries go through different things all the time. But being in a place that I've been in personally, it's tough.
Uh, is there anything you would want, and I realize that you're not speaking on behalf of a people. Like I understand you're one guy, you're a football player in Baltimore, but would there be anything that you would want people in Baltimore to know about the Israeli people, about the time that you spent there, and what it means to you and what you think it should mean to the entire world?
I feel like just through social media, you see things and it doesn't always register with you because you have no connection to it. Like when certain people die who are of celebrity or importance, you kind of feel a type of way if you've been touched by their music or something like
Sure.
that. That's kind of how I feel about that, man. It's just most people probably wouldn't have a connection unless you're of Israeli descent or something. But like I said, I'm sure there's two sides to every story, and conflicts and all this other stuff has to be resolved as political. But just to know a few people who live there, like I said, see places that I've been around and devastated is it's pretty heartbreaking, man. So, like I said, these are people just like you and I. They're living in their home, doing their normal thing, and things break out and things happen. So, no, man, I just want to remind people like these are people. They live their lives just like we had 9/11, and how everybody kind of heart poured out to people who've been affected. Same type thing, even though it's a different little circumstance. But no, man, those are amazing people. They live in the holy land, if you will. But like I said, they're normal people and they've been affected. And like I said, it's something that we all should, keep our eye on and understand that, the politics are the politics, but at the end of the day, those are people being affected and their lives are changing
Mike,
massively.
I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate your words. Michael Pierce with us here on GCR. Mike, I wanted to ask you about two other guys that one, I feel like everybody saw you, everybody was celebrating you. The guy that I don't know got enough love, and I'm just as guilty of it. But after I looked at the film again, Travis Jones on Sunday, man, what should we know about the work that he's doing that perhaps it's not all showing up statistically?
Yeah, no, Travis is amazing, man. I'm blessed to have somebody behind me like him. He's is an amazing player, but he's going to be really, really special. He just keeps developing and getting more time. Travis does a lot of things like myself that doesn't get noticed all the time, but that dude he's massive. Shoot. I don't even know. You don't want to haloti, Travis, but it was a 6'4", 340. He can move really well. So, he's in that bigger mold, taller mold of nose guard who can just play, man. And like I said, as he starts to gain confidence each and every Sunday that he plays, I think by week 14, 15, they ain't gonna be, they'll be worried about myself and everybody else, but he's gonna be one to deal with for a long.
That That's exciting. Boy, that's exciting. The other guy, everybody talks about Roquan, but the speeches. We're hearing more about Roquan's pregame speeches. And we're in Baltimore, right? Where we're used to there's been an inside linebacker for a long time that was pretty good at these pregame speeches to the point where like a generation of athletes would play Ray Lewis speeches like on their headphones before the games. Tell me a little bit about Roquan and specifically what he's been doing to try to fire you guys up before games.
Some people call him Uncle Ro, man. He just has a ton of sayings like outside of these pregame speeches. He's a really funny dude. He lives, breathes, eats, sleeps football. Always locked in, always on task, normally always where he's supposed to be. But his pregame speeches, man, you just feel it. Being around him every day, that it really comes from the heart. And when he
Wow.
speaks, says certain things, it's not just for the cameras. And that's kind of where a lot of things get lost in translation. Some people, no shade to anybody else, but some people say things for the camera because they know the camera's on them. But no, when Rose speaks, kind of like Ray Lewis, I wasn't there for that, but I was one of the people in high school who listened to Ray, through my headphones. So
Did you really?
yeah, man. No, I mean, I played linebacker in high school, long time ago. But no, man, I looked up to Ray Lewis big time. So just to hear Ro and know that everything he's saying he means when he says he's gonna try to rip somebody's head off, you got fined for trying to rip somebody's head off. So no, man, you have an emotional leader, a physical leader like that. It's easy to fall in line and get behind him. But no, man, he lives, eats, and breathes football. You see it, and obviously, the people who hear his speeches, they know.
Dude, this is 31 sacks. You guys lead the NFL in sacks. This was a defense that I think a lot of people thought might take a step backwards, right? With Calais gone this year and some of the other pieces. Why? How do you pinpoint that this unit has been even better than I think everyone anticipated you might be coming into the year?
Um, I think just because we don't have the mega names, the future Hall of Famer names. I don't know what, Marlon's career end up like or Kyle or anybody else's, but we don't have that big name this year. People may have felt like we may take a step back or not, but we just have a whole bunch of hungry guys. So you seen Justin Metabike turn into the next coming to Aaron Donald. He is a big name, but as we start playing these TV games, these night games, Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night, they're not gonna have any way to not acknowledge him, right? So Metabike's turned into a star. J.D. Clowney has turned back the clock and been playing well. We get Dolph healthy. Myself, I'm back healthy, so I'm contributing. Obviously, Roquan and Patrick Queen, just those front seven, not let alone how Kyle Hamilton's grown. Obviously, Marlon is Marlon. If we get Marcus Williams back, all these guys are playing.
Gino, right?
I would say we ain't even gotten to Gino and B Steve.
Yeah.
The interception machines that they've been. So like I said, those guys are hungry guys who are, behind, some of the best in the league who just happen to get their chance to play. So I feel like that about Travis. He's behind. He could start basically probably anywhere else. I could say the same about Brody. Obviously, we brought him back and paid him. So we got a lot of hungry guys who will continue to make a name for themselves, especially like Justin and Gino, obviously, and B. Steve. Those guys are playing their best football, when they're needed. So if those injuries happen and they don't, we may not be sitting here talking joyfully about great for all those guys. But no, we have some guys who, as we start to go down the stretch and play really good teams throughout the end of the year, the media is going to start to recognize them as well.
I'm not going to try to like get you to say something, but does it feel like something special is happening? Does it feel watching you guys from afar? I think a lot of people have started to say like it feels like there's something special about this group, right? Like we know how well, my God, Lamar's been a video game again, right? Like he's been insane. Does it feel like there's something special brewing with this group right now?
Yeah, it does. I'm not gonna lie to you. I played on that 2019 team. Obviously, that's lofty goals and lofty expectations, but just like that team had, I think one core thing is we have guys who are not only together and everybody preaches brotherhood, but we have a whole bunch of guys who believe. And you don't see guys like Gino and guys like B Steve just pop off the field if they didn't believe, if they didn't put in the work like they were starters in the offseason. So we had a whole bunch of guys who were hungry. You know, like I said, everybody thought we may take a step back, but like I said, we have met a BK playing at all pro level, and we're just as happy for him as ourselves. So we have a whole bunch of guys who take pride in other people's success, and that's something that goes for the offense and the defense. And when you have that, and you have a belief like we have, and we're all working towards a common goal, you can do some pretty special things. So don't want to get ahead of ourselves,
I get it.
obviously. But no, man, we all believe, and we're working to achieve the ultimate goal for sure.
Dude, I was jumping off my couch. My kids were like, why are you so excited? And I try to explain, I'm like, you don't understand. This is one of my favorite dudes. It means the world to me. And I know how much it means to you from our conversations to see this season that you've been having after everything that you've been through the last few years, brother. I am so unbelievably happy for you. May it continue, right?
Yeah, yeah, no, that's what we're working for, man. The season doesn't stop after 6, 7, 8 games. So no, man, we I got a long way to go, and hopefully I can keep improving and bringing guys along with me and playing as well as I plan on playing for the rest of the year.
Brother, I'm so happy for you. Michael, thank you for taking a couple minutes for us this morning, dude. It is always good to catch up with you.
Thank you very much, brother. Have a good one.